like all other animals, we're dependent on food, but we're extremely bad at processing food. I mean, I always point out that we're a very deficient species because we only have one stomach. That means we can't, most of the food resources of the planet are inaccessible to us because we don't have the digestive systems, to cope with them. So that's one of the basic problems that we've got. We're very bad food processing engines. And they will say we're pretty bad at getting our food because we're less agile and less good at climbing, and most of the skills that we need we're deficient compared with our predator species. And I think these are amongst the reasons why humans have been exceptionally resourceful in finding new sources of energy. And some of my colleagues and some of my fellow contributors in the Oxford Illustrated History of the World would probably say that you could write the whole of history in terms of humans' search for energy. And we've become very aware of that in the last couple of hundred years. We're maximally aware of it right now. Because in the last couple of hundred years, we've become dependent on the new sources of energy, which we really began to, I wouldn't say we discovered them a couple of hundred years ago, we really began to be aware of what we could do with them a couple of hundred years ago. And obviously these are things like, fossil fuels and latterly, other sources of energy, hydro energy, nuclear energy. And we're now trying to develop ways of exploiting directly the energy of the sun and even, possibly for the future, inexhaustible energy resources like the motion of the planet. So we've got this history of ever increasing our energy resources and increasing them at an amazing rate in the last couple of hundred years. And I think one of the big questions for our species is how far can you go with this? And will what has been perhaps the prevailing pattern of our energy resource exploitation in the past, a pattern in which the more energy we consume, the more change of every other kind we generate. How far can you go with that? I mean, is this an unending story, or is it going to come up against the buffers? Are we going to be checked at some point? Are we going to have to slow down our energy exploitation and therefore slow down the rate at which our societies change?